Hello ladies and gentlemen, PvP Skills here. This is my video of my top 6 weapons in Dark Souls 2. That's for PvP and PvE. This video won't cover any weapons with inherent elemental damage or any infused weapons. And also daggers won't be included. I hope you liked the video and you learned something new and maybe you'll use the weapons. And yeah, let's get right into it. Number 6. Greatsword. Now this weapon has an S scaling in strength and D scaling in dexterity. With a 40 strength build and 40 dex, you'll get an attack rating of 625. It has slash and thrust damage types, and its counter strength is 130 and it weighs 22. Now, this weapon is one of my top favorite weapons of all time. Man, this is like 1,000-ton steel in your hand, playing with it. That factor alone, the badass factor of this weapon alone, can be in my list. But this weapon actually is very good. But it has a very skill. You can say, yeah, you can't. No, but like you need to be skilled and be very familiar with this weapon to use it effectively, especially in PvP. Now let's look at PvP and some of the strategies that I use. Now reverse backstab. You go reverse attack. You roll to the other side of your opponent, the opposite side, and then do an R1 rolling attack one-handed. And this attack is very good, very, very good. I cannot stress that enough. Even when I know my opponent is using it, I still get caught off guard. Now what's also good with this weapon, it's immense damage. Can do immense damage, and if you get the first one-handed R1 attack, you can connect to a second one. So yeah, its bread and butter is the one-handed R1 attacks. But also two-hand attacks are extremely strong, but the problem is they're very hard to get the hit. But if you know when to use them in narrow corridors, you will get the damage you like. Immense damage, and especially all the clips in this video are very high soul memory. It's around 35 million soul memory with a level 210, soul level 210. So yeah, every person I encountered is higher level than me. So yeah, to demonstrate this weapon, the only problem with this weapon is maybe its weight. So a healthy alternative is the Zweihander. And now let's not forget its golf swing attacks, which is the one-handed, two-handed running attack, which can launch your enemies to the sky, so you can just finish them off and throw them out of the map. So Zweihander is a good alternative. There's also other good alternatives, but this weapon the damage is unmatched with other ultra great swords. Okay, so we're done with this weapon. Let's move on to the next weapon. Number 5. Great Warrior Club. This weapon needs 60 strength and 6 dexterity to be used, so it's mainly a strength weapon. It has a weight of 30, which is the heaviest weapon I think of the game, and the counter strength of 100. And with 60 strength, you will have 723 attack rating. That's of course with Ring of Blades plus 2. Now all weapons in this video is going to be paired with the Ring of Blades plus 2, because that's the logic. Physical weapon, you need a Ring of Blades plus 2. This weapon is exactly or the equivalent of the Demon Great Axe from Dark Souls 1, which was the highest damage in the game. I think this also does the heaviest damage, the strongest damage in the game for physical damage. This weapon actually has much better moveset than the Demon Great Hammer from Dark Souls 1, which is great. This is one of my favorite weapons. In PvP and PvE, it's unstoppable, especially in PvE, but also in PvP, and I'll demonstrate that after this clip, but it's very, very strong. I cannot stress that enough. The only downside to it is the weight, and now I'll tell you a healthy alternative of that weapon in the end of the clip. This weapon has a very good moveset. It consumes a lot of stamina, so you gotta have a lot of endurance to use it properly. Now this character is also the 210, and of course I'm using the Flynn ring, which is wrong because I used it with Royal Soldier ring plus 2, which lowers its damage. So yeah, that was a mistake. Anyways, this weapon is a beast. This weapon has a 3-hit potential combo, so you can 3-hit the person guaranteed 3 hits, and that's from the rolling R1, two-handed, then R1, R1. And they'll be demonstrated after this clip also. And also it has a very fast rolling R1 attack. And the R1 attacks one-handed and the two-handed are forced to be reckoned with. They're very good, I cannot stress that enough. And it also has it does strike damage, which is the best damage in the game, best physical damage. It has the potential of one-shotting, backstabs and parries, as you can see here. One shot, that's it, that's all it takes. Sometimes, of course, against heavier opponents, you will take a lot of that, they will take massive damage, but usually they will get killed. Now, look, here you can demonstrate the 3-hit potential of this weapon. Now, a healthy alternative to this weapon is the Great club, which is this one. It's very good also. It weighs much less. It weighs like 20, I'm not sure, 22. And it's the smaller brother of the Great Warrior Club. So yeah, you can use that. So yeah, this is the end of this weapon. Let's go to the next one. Number 4, S-Stock. S-Stock needs 20 strength and 12 strength and 12 dexterity to be used. It has a B scaling for strength and D scaling for dex. When it has a 40-40 build, strength and dex, will give you an attack rating of 358, and it weighs 3 units and does thrust and slash damage, and has a counter strength of 120. This weapon is a beast, especially after patch. Now all the footage of the video is after patch, but this weapon I just used recently, and wow, this weapon is very, very, very good. First of all, it's very unique because it has its one-handed R2 is a slash damage attack, and also it can be paired with a stone ring to stun. It stuns really, really good. Two-handed, you can get multiple hits because the frequency of the attacks, or the attacks per second, is maybe one of the fastest, like all thrusting swords. And it does very, very respectable damage. And you can also pair it with the Leo ring. Although it has 120 strength damage, there's some thrusting swords that have higher, but still the damage output is very good. I'm loving this weapon. I mean, in Dark Souls 1, it was also a force to be reckoned with. And also it looks really nice, and it has a lot of range, like one of the best ranges of the thrusting swords. Now, a healthy alternative for this weapon can be the Espada Rapera. So yeah, this weapon is good, but it doesn't have the slashing damage of the slashing moveset of the S-Stock. So yeah, we're done with this weapon. Let's go to the next one. Number 3, Monastery Scimitar. Nah, I was just joking. I struck a nerve right there, right? Although a recent poll says that 66% of people use Monastery Scimitar. So, and when somebody uses Monastery Scimitar, they get a lot of hate, although majority uses it. But yeah, that's not our topic. Number 3, it's Sun Sword. One of my favorite weapons in the game. You get it from the Sunbro Covenant, and just being a reference to Solaire is enough. Of course, that's not the case. The weapon is very, very practical, very strong. Let's go through the stats and the requirements. You require 15 strength and 13 dexterity, and it has A scaling in strength and A scaling in dexterity. So it's a quality weapon. Quality it's a reference from Demon Souls, because there was a infusion, let's say, called quality, which increases the strength and dexterity scaling. It has slash attacks. That's what's written in the description, but it also has thrust. This is why it's my favorite longsword. And also has a 400 damage rating with 40 dex and 40 strength with the Ring of Blades +2, and counter strength of 110, and it weighs only a mere 3 units. Now this weapon, these clips are for my 210, but after that you'll see my Spartacus cosplay, which is higher level. It's between 500 and 600, but very high soul memory. Yeah, it starts from here. This sword, first of all, is very strong. It has a very good moveset, like all long swords. It's spammable, which many people like and many people hate. And it's one of the weapons that you can spam and not get too much carried away of getting parried. It's very hard to parry. fast weapons. S-Stock also falls in that category. But Sun Sword is very hard to parry. The only way is a predictive parry or 2 backsteps into a parry. The first backstep is a predictive one, and that's a guaranteed one. Now, what's amazing about this weapon is its R2, one-handed R2. It's a thrusting attack. Now, you just saw it here. If you stun them from the first hit, you have another guaranteed hit, and it does loads of damage. And you compare it with the Leo Ring, which makes the damage much stronger. Now, if you put the Storm Ring, also it'll be much better against heavy opponents, heavy armored opponents, because you need to stun them. This is the weapon. If you can stun, you're just good, man. You can spam it. You can a lot of damage output in a very short period of time. So yeah, it's a force to be reckoned with. It's my favorite longsword of all the longswords, although I like the longsword and the puzzling stone sword, I think it's called. And also maybe foot soldier, but I don't use it that much. Yeah, these are my favorite. And there's of course the Drake Keeper, but it doesn't have a thrust attack like the other two. So yeah, this one is very good, and it weighs nothing, so it can actually be just a backup weapon. So yeah, this weapon is very strong, has reference for Solaire. You can see here the multiple hits that you can stun with, and it has actually a respectable riposte damage and backstab damage. So yeah, we're done with this weapon. Let's go to the next one. Number 2, Black Knight Greatsword. Well, this is going to be the exception to the rule. When I said in the beginning of the video, inherent elemental weapons are not going to be included, but this one has so good and respectable physical damage that I had to include it. Now, in general, greatswords are the most practical and easy to use weapons in this game, Dark Souls 2. That's why they are the most used weapons, as you can tell. Everybody knows the R2 combo, yeah? You're familiar with that, are you? Anyways, let's go through the stats. First, Black Knight Greatsword has 28 requirement for strength, 20 for dexterity, 12 for intelligence, and 12 for faith. It has C scaling for strength and E scaling for dexterity and C scaling for fire, which is both intelligence and faith, and it caps on 30-30 for fire. And it has counter strength of 110, and it weighs 12, and with the 40-40 dexterity strength build and 12-12 intelligence and faith, you'll have an attack rating of 455 physical damage and 100 and Ring of Blades plus 2, of course, and 113 fire damage. Now, why I love this weapon? It has great reach, great range. It has a special R2, so it's like all the other great swords, most of them, but the Black Knight Greatsword has a wider radius when it's the second R2. The Watcher Sword and I think the Flamberg or Flamberge, whatever you want to call it, has the same moveset. And when you put Flame Weapon on it, it becomes a beast. Beast on steroids, man. The reach is the number one thing about this weapon. Especially with Phantom Range in this game. This weapon is a force to be reckoned with. I love this weapon and it looks so badass. Okay, let's go to the next one. Now let's give honorable mentions before number 1 weapon. Mastodon Halberd. It's one of the strongest weapons, one of the highest damage weapons. But I didn't include it because it doesn't have a 2-hit combo, so you can get just the first hit and the second hit you can roll out. And also it has one of the highest riposte and backstab damage in the game. But also it has the running attack, spin to win. Yeah, you can get the 3 hits, but a skilled player will backstab you for it. Also, the Grand Lance is a very respectable weapon. It's easy to backstab, but if you know what you're doing, it's a force to reckon with, especially when you're dual wielding it. And we're not covering dual wields in this video. So yeah, let's go to number 1 weapon. Number 1, Chaos Blade. The strongest weapon in the game in my opinion, and one of the best for it, that's a fact. Now let's go through the stats before explaining why I think it's the best weapon in the game. First of all, you need 12 strength and 25 dexterity to wield, and it has S scaling in dex, and also has a counter damage of 150. This is one key point I'm gonna explain later. And it has slash and thrust damage types, and it weighs just a mere 6, so nothing compared to other katanas. Although katanas in general are light. So yeah, Chaos Blade. The most This weapon can do a lot of damage. Can do a lot of damage. I reiterate, no matter how much your enemy has armor, he will take damage. Now, usually you'll see the infused version, but don't underestimate the physical version because it's very strong. Now, it has a counter strength of 150, and with the thrusting attack of the running R1, which is amazing, and with its phantom range and all, and its tracking, you can dish 700, 800 damage with the running R1. I'm not joking. And if you pair it with a Leo Ring, you're done, man. If you get a counter damage strike, you will take sometimes 1000 if you have low armor. Also, it just weighs 6. And also, it has a very good reach and very good moveset. And another point, now katanas, if you go to the R2 straight away, they will be slow. But if you go R1, then R2, the R2 will come out much faster. That's for the running R1 and the normal R1. Before patch, it was even faster when you go R1 to R2. Actually, it was very overpowered. I know not many people knew about it, but it was super overpowered. You could have got 3 guaranteed hits. Now, if you get the R2, you get another guaranteed R2. So that's a lot of damage. So, but it's hard to get. But what you do, the trick is press R1, then R2 and R2. Now the downside is you take damage when you use it. You take about 30 or 40 damage, I'm not sure, check the wiki for that. But this sword is beast on, I don't know what, I can't even describe it. And the weapon is one of the best. Now, healthy alternatives, very good, is the Black Steel Katana, which is also pure dex, but it weighs much more, has a bit less dex, less attack rating, but it's very good. Also, Dark Drift, or Drifter, is very good. It's one of my favorite weapons in the game also, and it weighs just 3. So yeah, that's very, very good. Now, let's go to the conclusion of the video. This list is not gospel or anything from the likes. It's suspectable to change anytime, although I stand to my word right now. And also, Dark Souls do have many, many viable weapons. And I'm gonna cover the elemental damage and infused weapons in the future list. So yeah, watch out for that. Now, this is example why the Chaos is much better than the Black Steel. This guy, I invaded him, and he had all the buffs on, all of it, including, what's it called, numbness, so he didn't take any damage. Now with the counter damage of 150 from the Chaos Blade, I could have made much more damage. Okay, now also if you want to see a reference for the Sun Sword in action for like about 12 minutes, you can check my Spartacus cosplay, link in the description. And also, if you want to watch my advanced backstab techniques video, it's also going to be in the description. And also, if you want to see my top 10 tips for PvP, it's going to be in the description, link in the description. Also, please, if you learned something new and you liked the video and it helped you out, please subscribe and like, because this is what keeps me going. And I have a passion for Souls game, and I'm gonna cover Bloodborne as soon as it comes out. And I have many videos for Dark Souls 2 to come. It won't end until Bloodborne will come. I will keep releasing technique videos to help you get better in this game, in PvP especially. Also, if you have, I like cosplays. This channel's motto is winning by skill and having information, because information is power, and that's what I'm gonna do in this channel. So if you wanna watch out for that, please subscribe and like. And also, give me please your top 6 weapons, and put them in the comments. And yeah, PvP skills out.